The moment of no return. I took the pen. The click of the cup echoed in the room like a death sentence. The cold metal of the pen felt alien in my hand, its weight an unbearable reminder of everything I had lost. Every stroke of the ink felt like a knife carving into my soul. The paper beneath it seemed to mock me, its crisp surface smooth and unforgiving. Stanley didn't speak. He just stood there, his eyes fixed on me, unwavering, as if he were watching a stranger sign away her own future. His silence was worse than anything he could have said. It gnawed at me, dug into me, the absence of words far sharper than any accusation. I signed. The sharp scratch of the pen against the paper reverberated through my mind, each mark cementing my betrayal, sealing my fate. I felt the weight of it, the finality of it, as if the world itself had tilted and everything I had known was slipping away from my grasp. Stanley didn't move, I didn't speak. He just watched me, his expression cold, detached. The scent of his cologne lingered in the air, heavy and suffocating, a cruel reminder of the nights I had spent in his arms, the fleeting moments of passion that now seemed like a distant dream, far removed from the bitter reality I faced. I handed him the signed papers, my fingers numb, my heart pounding so loudly I could hear nothing else. His hand, when it took the papers, was cold, as though his body had already begun to shut down from the shock of everything that had happened. His fingers brushed mine, but it felt like a lifetime ago that we had touched with love, with tenderness. "This is it, Sylvia," Stanley said, his voice thick with something I couldn't place. Maybe it was relief, or maybe it was disgust. It didn't matter anymore. "You've made your choice. I hope it was worth it." I felt my throat tighten, but I couldn't speak. The taste of bitterness, like ash, coated my mouth, making it impossible to form the words I needed. What could I say to him? What was left? I watched as he turned and walked toward the door, his movements deliberate, controlled, but the tension in his shoulders betrayed the storm raging inside him. The sound of his footsteps on the floor seemed deafening in the silence that had fallen between us, each step like a final countdown. Every part of me screamed for him to stay, for him to fight, but I knew it was too late for that. He paused at the door, his hand on the handle, but he didn't turn around. The back of his neck, the way his jaw clenched, told me everything I needed to know. He was done with me. The air in the room seemed to grow colder, the emptiness swallowing everything whole. I was alone now, truly alone, and the weight of the decision I had just made crushed me with a force I wasn't prepared for. "I don't hate you, Sylvia," he said quietly, his voice soft but final. "But I can't stay in this marriage anymore." His words hung in the air long after the door had clicked shut behind him, a sound that would echo in my memory forever. It was the sound of my world falling apart. I stood there for a long time, the silence stretching out before me, too thick, too suffocating. My hands, still trembling, reached for the envelope he had left behind, my mind numb, my body drained. I had signed away my marriage, my future, and now I was left with nothing but the empty promise of freedom, a freedom that felt more like a prison. The tears came then, hot and uncontrollable, streaming down my face, as though my body could no longer hold in the weight of everything I had tried to ignore. I couldn't even feel the tears, all I felt was a hollow emptiness, a sense of being hollowed out. I could taste the salt of my own grief as it burned in the back of my throat, but I couldn't stop it. I couldn't stop anything anymore. I collapsed onto the couch, burying my face in my hands, the fabric scratching against my skin, a reminder of the life I had destroyed, the love I had thrown away. My body shook with sobs I could no longer control, each one tearing at me, ripping through me. I could still smell him, his cologne, the scent of him that had once been comforting, now a painful reminder of my betrayal. It lingered in the room, in the space we had shared, in the air I breathed. It was suffocating, choking me with its memory. Every part of me wanted to run, to escape, but there was nowhere to go. The walls of this room, this house, were closing in on me. There was no escape from my own actions. The sound of my own breathing filled the room, shallow and rugged, each inhale a struggle, each exhale a painful reminder of everything that had been lost. How had I come to this? How had I let it all slip through my fingers? I stood, wiped my eyes, and glanced at the door once more, but there was no one there. The stillness was deafening. No footsteps. No voice. No comfort. Just silence.